To those of you who think Kratos was a shallow one-dimensional protagonist motivated solely by hate and anger, hear me out on this one. This is a common criticism of the original trilogy-era God of War games. Kratos is angry and he kills gods, he hates them. And rightfully so, kind of. They lie to him and use him at every turn to further their own agendas, but Kratos' anger doesn't stem from this alone. If you're unfamiliar, Ares, the former God of War, tricks Kratos into killing his own family. Kratos' journey from here is to erase the memory of his wife and daughter and the guilt of what he's done. Rather than deal with his sadness, Kratos would rather forget and kill anyone in his way to do so, including his own father. Kratos is angry because of his inability to deal with the death of his family in a healthy way, but Kratos has a new son now, Atreus, who just lost his mother. Kratos is still on a journey to overcome his own selfishness and break the cycle of anger.
So you value your privacy more than your son, eh?
I'm going to cut off your head now.
Female characters dying to thrust their male counterparts into their hero's journey is a tired and sexist trope we see all too often in stories. Dad games. This is a dad game? Game about a dad? I did some thinking about if Atreus had to be a boy, like would this game be any different if Atreus was a girl? If I think of this God of War as being a bit more of a personal story and creative director Cory Barlog having a son of his own, it starts to make more sense. Oh, and Atreus is Loki. Spoilers, did I not mention that earlier? Atreus being a boy also lends to the resolution of Kratos' greatest flaw, masking any real emotion with anger. When faced with the loss of his mother, Atreus can take that same path, or Kratos can teach him that men can feel pain and sadness and grieve, and it is healthy to do so.
And you must be better than me. Understand? Say it.
I will be better.
Related anecdote time. A young 20-something boy, newly on his own in the world, reluctantly goes on a trip to Las Vegas with his new-ish girlfriend and her friends, mostly because of not wanting her to go alone, because of insecurity reasons. After arriving, there is talk of maybe splitting up the group for parts of the trip, and insecure boy here gets very offended, drinks an entire bottle of champagne, and burns every replica bridge in town. Now imagine that sad boy is a god. That's Atreus!
It's all you ever talk about, over and over. Do something about it or shut up already.
The game puts a great deal of emphasis on what can happen when feeling is suppressed. The antagonist Baldur is driven insane by his inability to feel anything. His mother Freya gave him the spell to keep him safe, but her overprotectiveness was ultimately his downfall.
Because I will never forgive.
Kratos is risking the same fate for Atreus by not trusting him with who he truly is, but that is up to Kratos the parent to guide him. We see Atreus show anger and cruelty throughout the journey, especially when he learns the truth about being a god, and that is when Kratos has the chance to teach Atreus based on his own mistakes. This game resonated with me in more ways than one, but the point that sat with me most relates to the biggest turning point in my life. When I realized my parents kept secrets and were people before there was a me. When I realized that when you have a child, your life takes on new meaning that begins and ends with that child. When we're kids, we don't always know every detail about our parents because their primary concern is raising us. Parenting can be a thankless job. I am who I am and where I am today because of people who put me first in a way I can't even imagine. I am profoundly lucky to have had that. Kratos wasn't ready for that the first time around, and with Atreus, he's given a second chance. Throughout God of War, we're given plenty of examples of this being Atreus' story, but it is the very end that evoked a guttural emotional reaction from me. Here, when Kratos has nothing left to hide, having gone through intense emotional growth, unwraps his bandages, revealing the scars of his past, and then...
Can we go now? We're so close.
Kratos is shown as an insignificant figure within this world. Sure, Kratos does things in this game that have huge consequences that will likely permeate future games in the franchise, but the task at hand is simple. Fulfill Faye's dying wish and uncover Atreus' true nature in the process. Even Odin doesn't really care about them. He's watching and much is said about his obsession with knowledge and control, but for this story in particular, Kratos and Atreus are just two of his many interests. This is my favorite scene in the game. This is a turning point for Kratos, and it's interrupted by his son asking if he's done staring off into the sunset so they can finish their actual mission. The story isn't about Kratos. Kratos' life isn't even about Kratos anymore. It's all about Atreus, because that's what happens when you have a child. Thank you again for watching my God of War analysis. I really loved this game, and a lot of its themes resonated with me a lot. Thank you to my Twitch subscribers as well. I can't thank you all enough for your continued support. My next video will be about something related to E3, which is basically here at this point, and I'm very excited. So if you like this video, want to see that one, make sure you subscribe to the channel. It really helps. Thank you again.